This is live severe weather coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Stand by as all of our network streaming channels join our broadcast. This live stream is made possible by Southern Pressed Cleaners and Market, Derek Farr for Randolph County Sheriff, the 19th hole at Cider Ridge, Alpha Insurance Agent Jamie Dukas, Southern Union State Community College, Integrated Contractor Services, Stevens Home Furniture, The Oaks, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery, Donnie Grant Jr. for Sheriff Randolph County, Fincher Fence, The Venue at 5 Points Farms, Jeff Monroe for Alabama House District 37, N&W Locks. And now, from the Alpha Severe Weather Center, here's Dr. Dodd.
Well, good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. It's 11:42 p.m. Central, 12:42 a.m. Eastern. As we're back on the air with you live, we have a brand new tornado watch now for portions of Alabama and Georgia. And you can see there that it does cover portions of East Alabama and West Georgia. It goes as far north as Randolph County. It also covers Troup County. It makes it over into Meriwether County, and then back in Alabama, Coosa, Tallapoosa. It also gets Chambers. It covers, let's see, it looks like it's got our Heard County, Troup County, also has Harris and Lee County. So just about everybody in our coverage area now is covered under a tornado watch that is valid until 8 a.m. this morning. Now, we won't stay under that watch that entire time. You have to understand they put these things out for about 6 hours. So they will trim counties off of the watch as we get this line of thunderstorms moving through. So we're not going to be under the threat of tornadic weather until 8 a.m. That would be over there in the Milledgeville and Warner Robins area of central Georgia. So if you're watching us this morning across East Alabama and West Georgia, the counties that are not included in the tornado watch would probably be quicker, and that'll be Talladega, Cleburne, Calhoun, and Clay in Alabama, and Carroll in Georgia. Everybody else is under this tornado watch, again, in effect until 8 a.m. this morning. A couple of tornadoes are possible. Large hail will be possible, and of course damaging winds of up to 70 miles per hour will also be possible. Now, what we told you when we were here earlier, that we felt like that the better tornado chances were going to be down south, that has been the case so far. We do have multiple tornado warnings in the state of Alabama right now, but they're all down in South Alabama. That could change. We could see a tornado warning or two across East Alabama in the next couple of hours, but the better chances for tornadoes will be down south of the Montgomery area. All right, so that's the watch that's just been issued. Let's go ahead and switch over to our NextRad radar, the Southern Union State Community College radar, live Doppler radar, and there we go. This is a pretty nasty-looking line of thunderstorms that's now moving across central, moving into East Alabama, and it extends all the way down into the Mobile area. And I'll kind of zoom down to the south so you can see all of the warnings. And I mean, there are a lot of them. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and we have several tornado warnings now. North of Jackson, Alabama, we have a tornado warning just south of Jackson, Alabama. We have tornado warnings for the Mobile area. We have severe thunderstorm warnings now just to the east of Marion. I'm going to start right here where it is significant, and then I'll work my way south. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Autauga and southern Chilton County of central Alabama. That is for a line of thunderstorms moving into western Autauga County, about to move into the Autaugaville area, and we're showing 50-plus mile-per-hour winds along this line, and I got to tell you, that's a pretty nasty-looking line, headed right directly for Billingsley and Otaugaville. It would not surprise me at all to see this upgraded to a tornado warning any time now. So if you're in Otaugaville, if you're in Prattville, if you're in Millbrook, Billingsley, Clanton, all of those towns I just named, heads up, you've got a nasty thunderstorm moving into western Autauga County and moving across southern Chilton County. And that storm is showing rotation. It could go tornadic at any moment. As we're speaking, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but remember what I always say, you treat severe thunderstorm warnings, especially this one, just as though it is a tornado warning. We do have indications that there is rotation in that storm. Then as we look back down the line, it's storming in Selma, but that part of the storm doesn't appear to be severe. As we get down around Thomasville, we'll come in closer. If you're down there around Camden, this line is about to move into your area. We had a tornado warning for Thomasville. They're just north of Grove Hill, but they have let that expire. And now that area is under a severe thunderstorm warning from Jackson all the way up north of Thomasville. And then looking at it down south, understand we're looking at this from Birmingham, so you can't see the convection down there very well. But Centronel, tornado warning. Let's see, northern Mobile County, tornado warning. So anywhere between Centronel and Mobile, you are under a tornado warning for a tornado warned storm that's moving into that area. So heads up Loxley, heads up Bay Minette. This storm will be moving into your area next. Even you folks over here around Atmore, heads up. Watch what's going on to your west because that storm is moving into your area. Monroeville, you're not under a warning at the moment, but you do have a severe thunderstorm just to your west, and you could go under a warning at any moment. If you know folks who live in this area of the state of Alabama, if you have friends down there, family maybe, give them a text, send them a text message, or give them a call. Make sure they are aware of what's going on down in that part of the state of Alabama. Back up closer to our coverage area. At the moment, absolutely nothing going on in Roanoke, nothing going on in Clay County. Talladega, you do have some wind. You see that gust front right there. That's that big green line that's running out ahead of the storm. So it's getting gusty in places like Childersburg and Sylacauga. But nothing severe up here. Coosa County, the storms are knocking on your front door. Tallapoosa, nothing happening right now. Chambers, you're clear. Lee County's clear, and all of our West Georgia counties are clear at the moment. But you see what's coming your way from the west. And of the East Alabama storms, or the storms that are threatening East Alabama, this is going to be the storm to keep an eye on. And this is that storm moving into western Autauga and across southern Chilton County. No question, this is the storm of the hour right now, moving into East Alabama. Big storm. It has a little bit of a bow feature to it, which is an indication that we have wind going on in there. And we're also, the computer algorithm is telling us we have multiple areas of rotation within this storm, and we're also picking up a tornado vortex signature on this one as well. Now understand, just because the computer says that there may be a tornado in there doesn't mean that there is. There are multiple factors that you have to look at, and the guys and gals at the National Weather Service are trained to do that, and they're watching all of this. And right now, you see that orange polygon. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. It is not a tornado warning at the moment. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm watching the National Weather Service chat room, and they will give us a heads up if they think that they're about to pull the trigger on a tornado warning. So we're going to watch this storm together very closely, and I'm going to tell you if the Weather Service decides they want to do something different with this storm. And while we're doing all of that, let me go to a couple of different things I want to look at. First, we're going to look at the base velocity and see if we can kind of see how much wind we have going on in this storm. And you can see right there, there's some 53 mile per hour winds, 56. I think I saw a 57. There's a 57 right there. And for the most part, we're looking at 40 to 50 mile per hour winds within this storm. And on the backside, outgoing, we've got 30 and 40 mile per hour winds. But you'll notice that that is very broad. We don't seem to have anything real tight. We don't have a tight couplet in there. So I'm guessing that's why we don't have a tornado warning on this storm. This rotation is very broad. It's like a big, huge rolling cloud. Instead of twisting, it's most likely rolling. And that is going right into Billingsley. This is over southern Chilton County, northern Autauga County, over in central Alabama. Chilton County being the home for Clanton, which is the geographic center of the state of Alabama. So we can see right there, we do have almost 60 mile per hour winds in this storm. Now, that's up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but understand it's just a stone's throw from where this storm is to where the radar is. So this is not very high up in the atmosphere. So these winds are relatively close to the ground, and you got that heavy convection of the rain pushing this stuff to the ground. And so we most likely have some pretty significant straight line winds taking place within this storm. Now, the only area I see of any suspicion maybe is right there. And you see that mesoscale circle that's spinning right there, and the computer algorithm is calling out this particular location, maybe with some stronger rotation right there. Again, still the Weather Service not pulling the trigger on a tornado warning right there. And that's going to be moving into southern Chilton. Here's the county line, if you look real close. And there's Billingsley. There's the county line right there. Billingsley is just inside of Autauga County. So this area of suspicion is going to be running right there along the southern edge of Chilton County, maybe the extreme northern edge of Autauga County. That would be south of Clanton. Clanton sitting up here to the top of this radar shot. So this will certainly be the storm to watch as it moves into East Alabama on this track. If this part of the line holds together, this is going to be will be affecting southern Coosa, Elmore, maybe central and southern Tallapoosa. If it holds together, eventually Lee County and maybe up into central Chambers County, and then across the state line, that would be Meriwether and maybe the southern part of Troop. But it's still a long way away, and lots of things can change between now and then. So let's take this back over to the reflectivity. And there you can see we have severe thunderstorm warning for that part of the storm in southern Chilton and northern Autauga County. So just kind of bear with me here. I'm going to attempt to get you some times up on the screen. And we will do it this way. Billingsley at about 12:04 arrival time there in Billingsley. That's about 9 minutes or so away. Again, this storm should stay south of Clanton. Clanton is sitting up here, and you see where the polygon is. So the storm, the entire storm won't, but the severe part of the storm should stay south of Clanton. Now, when I say that, we just got a volume scan update, and you see we've got some hail right there, so they may extend this thing a little bit further north. If I'm in Clanton, I'm paying attention to this. The absolute worst of this line is going to be right in here. And it's moving in that general direction. Certainly storming to the north, certainly storming to the south. But this would be the area of greatest effect from this storm, and you see the direction it's moving there. It will cross over Highway 31 just south, the worst part of it, just south of the Alabama Emergency Management Home Office, their State Emergency Operations Center. It's sitting up here on Highway 31. Just south of the 31 I-65 interchange. So this is moving really, it's going to move right over Verbena. Verbena's out here. So that's, if you're familiar with that part of central Alabama, you know where Verbena's at. And so this is going to move directly over that. Put it in motion again to kind of give you a sense of direction. And if you're just joining us, it is 12 midnight, and you're watching Dr. Don's Weather as we cover severe weather moving across the state of Alabama. At the moment, everything is severe thunderstorm warning from central Alabama down to the Mobile area, and then we do have a couple of tornado warnings remaining down here in Mobile. With this storm coming into the southern, moving across southern Chilton County and into Autauga County, is the closest, strongest storm to East Alabama and West Georgia. So we have Prattville sitting right here. You're going to get this, no question about it, but the strongest part of it at the moment is going to rotate north of you. Same thing for Otagoville. And Clanton, you're not officially in the polygon, but I got to tell you, you got a really heavy part of that cell that's going to come right over downtown Clanton. So if I'm in Clanton, I'm assuming I'm under the warning as well. You know, based off of what we're looking at right this second, and this will change, the whole complexity and everything will look different another hour from now. But if this storm doesn't change, if it stays just like this on its trek across East Alabama, that's what we're looking at. So we're looking at the heaviest part of it affecting those areas inside those white lines I just drew on the map. Now it'll change. You know, the northern part of it will get strong, and then the southern part will get strong, and the northern part will get weak, and that's just the way it works. So we don't know that this line's going to look exactly like this by the time it gets into East Alabama. But if it were to stay exactly like it is right now, those areas inside those two white lines would be the most likely areas to receive the worst of this. And that would be basically from Roanoke to Auburn, Alexander City to Tallahassee, and then from Clanton down to just north of Prattville. But we could also have something a little further north go severe as well. I mean, all these storms up here in the north end of the state are behaving pretty well right now. And we think they will stay that way. I mean, the best sunshine we had today was down in this area that we're looking at. And the further south you go, the more heating of the day we had. And that's what's fueling these storms. Stephanie, the best chance for tornadoes still is south. Just because you're close to the tornado watch. I mean, I understand the Weather Service looks at the odds, and that's what they issue the watches off of. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. The further south you go, the better the chance is going to be to see a tornado. I mean, let me zoom out. Out of all this stuff you see on the radar, the only tornado warnings we have right now, or the concentrated tornado warnings, are way down here in Mobile, Alabama. From just north of Mobile all the way up into East Alabama, the only warnings we have are severe thunderstorm warnings. So I still stand by what I said earlier. Your better chances for tornadoes will be in South Alabama. That is not to say that we can't have a quick spin up across East Alabama. We certainly can. That is a possibility. But the better chances for tornadoes and perhaps even longer track tornadoes will be down in South Alabama. There's Miss Ellen. She's awake at the lake. Over on Lake Martin, I do believe. Miss Ellen, you've got a pretty good thunderstorm coming through the Autauga County area back off to your west, down there around Billingsley and Clanton, and Lake Martin right here. So this thing is coming pretty much directly at you. As a matter of fact, if you're out on the deck looking back to the west and southwest, you can probably see the lightning already. They're maintaining, Stephanie. They're not strengthening or weakening at the moment. Sharpsburg, you're still a good hour, maybe two. Wind is picking up over there on the lake. Chambers County, probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I think it'll be all over with by 4 a.m. In the Lineville, Ashland area and Wedowee. Alexander City, probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Broughton Ridge in the house. Again, if you're just joining us, 12:09 a.m., and this is the storm to watch as of right now. And this is the segment of this line that's moving across northern and central Autauga County. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning now from just north of Prattville all the way up to Clanton. We also have a special weather statement from Billingsley down to Prattville and Autaugaville and down to about Whitehall. So this entire segment of this line is either covered by a special weather statement or a severe thunderstorm warning. And you'll notice right here at Clanton, the computer algorithm has been very consistent with this meso detection. And what that is, I get the question all the time, a meso detection is telling us that the storm is rotating, which is normal. All thunderstorms rotate to a certain degree. However, this one has a pretty strong rotation signal on it. It's a strength index of 7. The low-level rotation's at 45 knots and the base height at 2,000 feet with a 4,000-foot depth. That's pretty significant rotation. But that alone does not mean we have a tornado. The Weather Service takes this into consideration. They take the tornado vortex signature into consideration. And there are several other things they look at to determine whether or not we may have a tornado on the ground. One of the things that they look at is the reflectivity, the base velocity. And you look for tight couplets being greens and reds on their own, not in a line. And you see here that this is, for the most part, broad rotation. We don't see anything that indicates that a tornado is forming in this storm. If there is a suspicious area in this line, to me, it's right there. And that is right there on top of the Alabama Emergency Management Agency office, the State Operations Center. That's where their office is located, and that's where that's moving directly over them. But now they're underground for the most part. That facility is underground, so they're perfectly fine if there is something there. Now, understand the National Weather Service office is just right up the road from this, up at the Shelby County Airport. And they're watching this thing very closely. And it's obvious they're not convinced we have a tornado here. So they're staying with a severe thunderstorm warning, and I trust their judgment. But I see enough suspicion here. If I'm in the path of this, I'm going to go ahead and take cover because what? You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And you know what I say. Treat severe thunderstorm warnings as though they are tornado warnings, especially in this environment. Quick spin-up tornadoes are very possible. I was looking at span a few minutes ago before I came back on. You think we got whatabouts on our channel? Oh my gosh. And I saw someone ask the question, what is a spin-up tornado? Isn't a tornado a tornado? And, the correct answer to that is yes and no. A quick spin-up tornado is a tornado that is very short-lived. In a lot of cases, you get a quick spin-up tornado before a warning can even be before it can be detected on radar, and before a warning can be issued, it's gone. Then that's what we're talking about tonight. We're not talking about long track tornadoes. We're talking about possible quick spin-up tornadoes that are here 1 minute and gone the next. They spin up along this line of thunderstorms. They may touch down and, stay down for a minute or two, and then they dissipate. That's what a quick spin-up tornado is. In contrast, a long-lived tornado can be on the ground for, anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours. Typically, they don't last that long in Alabama and Georgia, but occasionally we see long track cells that repeat produce. We saw that happen several times last year. And I will say that this thunderstorm cell is long-lived. It's been going since Mississippi, and it really hasn't changed much in intensity either way. And that's really, that is the only severe thunderstorm on the north end of this line. You got to go way down to Monroeville before you see another severe thunderstorm warning, and then we have those twin tornado warnings for Mobile. But from Monroeville, Alabama, all the way up to Autauga County, there are no severe warnings. We have multiple special weather statements, but no severe warnings. So there has been a decrease in the number of warnings along this line, but we maintain a warning for this portion of the line that is moving into East Alabama. So James has given us some pretty good information there on this storm that we're looking at. He's talking about the Peach Park there in Clanton. And James, I'll tell you, the strongest part of this storm has just passed the Peach Park. So conditions should be improving for you now. Peach Park in this area right here. And the heaviest part of the storm is now just east of I-65. And that is noted here on radar by the purples and blues. That's where we most likely have some hail. Actually, Remy, I think unless something changes between now and the time it gets over there, which is still at least another hour, strongest part of that may stay north of Lee County. It may end up over here in central Chambers or maybe northern Chambers. This is the area of concern. It's going to be a close call for you. But the warning polygon is much wider than the strongest part of the storm. The strongest part of the storm is inside that circle. So we do that, then that stays north of you. Maybe up there in southern Chambers County all the way up to just south of Roanoke. Yeah, there's a chance it could weaken before it gets much further east. We've already seen that trend because we don't have any warnings between this warning and the one down there in South Alabama at Monroeville. Every bit of this in between, which had severe thunderstorm warnings on it earlier, there are none there now. So there's a chance it could calm down, but it's pretty strong right this moment. I'm going to restart the radar because I don't think we're refreshing right. Okay, we're good. It's not showing the tornado watch outline. It's still showing the old tornado watch boxes. So that's why I was trying to refresh to see if we could get that to show up. I don't even really understand why it didn't disappear when I did that. Y'all just bear with me. I'm talking to myself now. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm not sure why the new watch is not showing up here. So I'm going to turn the old watch off because that's making it a little bit confusing. And I will show you the new watch that just dropped a few minutes ago up here. And there it is. Basically from Randolph County over to Heard County and Coweta County south. That's where the new tornado watch is in place. That's officially in place until 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. But I guarantee you East Alabama and West Georgia will be out of it before then. That 8 a.m. expiration would be for those counties way over there in middle Georgia. So this is what we're watching this morning. You see the warning scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, which was issued at about 12:16 this morning by the National Weather Service out of Birmingham. And that warning is for Autauga, Chilton, Coosa, Elmore of central Alabama. And this is going to be the storm. This is going to be the storm that has a chance of bringing some severe weather to East Alabama. All this stuff north up here, from Sylacauga north, nothing to worry about. That's just rain. And the only part of this line at the moment that looks severe, or that is severe, is this line right here. And that's moving in this direction. Now, I was explaining this earlier because a lot of people were getting confused because it looks, when you put it in motion, it looks like it looks like everything's moving north, but you'll notice in that was earlier this evening when the line of storms was way over in West Alabama. And I told you the individual storms are moving northeast, but the entire system is moving to the east. So this entire complex is going to end up over East Alabama within the next 30 or 40 minutes or so, especially into Coosa and maybe into western Tallapoosa within the next 30 minutes. So this polygon that you see, well, let me just see if we can get our manual tracker to work. Wow, first time it works. I'm amazed. So this is about what we're looking at. And so there are your times. Now, again, folks, don't take these times literal. These are estimated times of arrival. So we're looking at Rockford by 12:39, Eclectic by 1 a.m. or 1:03, Alexander City by about 1:03, Jackson's Gap at about 1:18, and New Site around 1:21. Those are estimated times of arrival. Now I'm going to turn the storm centers or tracks on just so I can see what kind of forward motion we've got going on. So hang on a second. It's going to look ominous. I told you there's going to be a lot of them. but I want to look in here and see what kind of forward motion. So we got 30 on that one. We got 46 on that one. 35. I think about 35 miles per hour is going to be forward motion of about 35 miles per hour is going to be pretty consistent. All right, they're saying about 40 miles per hour. So let me run our estimated times again. I don't like the placement on that. Let me do that again. All right, there we are. I like that. 40 miles per hour. Now there's some good times for you. Rockford 1239, Wetumpka 1250, Goodwater 1251, Alexander City about 1 a.m., Eclectic about 101, Jackson Gap about 113, New Site around 115, Tallahassee about 117, Dadeville around 119, and Daviston at around 1:27 a.m. Expected time of arrival. The National Weather Service has just issued a wind advisory in effect for all of central and east central Alabama through 7 p.m. this evening. Sustained winds out of the north at 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts of 40 miles per hour at times. Good gracious. It's going to be windy on your Thursday. And they just dropped that. So wind advisory in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Gust 15 to 25, or sustained winds 15 to 25 with gusts to 40. If y'all hadn't already put the Alabama State bird in a secure place, now'd be the time to do it if it's not storming at your house. I'm talking about your trampoline, your garbage cans. Those of you who still have your Christmas decorations up, all this stuff needs to be secured. It's going to be windy. Okay, let's see. We are going to take a quick break before this really gets deep into East Alabama. We're still watching this thing. This is the strongest part of the line, and this is the only part of the line that is producing severe weather for East Alabama at the moment. I mean, from Sylacauga north, up there along the I-20 corridor, no problems. It's this part of the line that is basically from the Clay County, Coosa County line down to the Chilton County, Chilton County, Autauga County line. This is the part of the storm that's producing potential severe weather, and that's the only part of the storm that will affect East Alabama at the moment that's producing severe weather. And that's going to move across Rockford. Eventually, it'll be over there at Kellyton. It will affect Alexander City. It may get up into extreme southern Clay, It may get up into southern Randolph. Most likely will sweep across all of Chambers. And this is, I think it's beginning to look like this is the only thing we're going to have to be concerned about. Now, we need to be respectful of this because, we could have some pretty strong straight line winds. Right now it shows us that it's capable of 60-mile-per-hour straight line winds and 3/4-inch hail. And we are seeing some rotation in this line. Nothing that indicates we have a tornado. Well, we just lost the mesoscale detection. So that's a good sign. I don't see any hail markers. I do. I'm sorry. I take that back. I see one. So at the moment, this is the only thing we have to worry about. All right, so I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we may try to liven things up a little bit. We may play the What About song for you here in just a few minutes. So hang in there with me. I'll be back as we continue our coverage on your Thursday morning at 12:32 a.m. on Dr. Don's Weather.
Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get. They help make Dr. Don's Weather possible. During severe weather, staying situationally aware can save lives. The easiest way to do that is to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Every home should have a NOAA weather radio. If you don't have one, visit Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell them and can help you program your radio for your area. Make sure you and your family know your safe place at home, school, and at work. Go to the lowest floor or the basement if you have one, in an interior room away from windows, like a hallway, closet, or bathroom. Keep blankets, pillows, and mattresses nearby for protection from flying debris. Helmets are strongly recommended for head protection. Charge your phones ahead of the storm and keep battery banks, flashlights, and a whistle or noisemaker in your safe place. And don't forget, a pair of sturdy, hard-soled shoes can make a big difference if you need to move around after the storm. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to leave before the storm hits. Don't wait for a warning. Once the weather turns severe, driving can be just as dangerous as staying put. It's also important to understand weather terminology. A special weather statement means a storm is strong, but not yet severe. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather in your area. A warning means it's happening now. Take action immediately. A severe thunderstorm warning means a storm is producing winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail 1 inch or larger. A tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted or indicated by radar in your area. Treat every severe thunderstorm warning seriously. Straight-line winds over 58 miles per hour can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Remember, your level of awareness can make the difference. Stay alert. Stay safe. Always be weather aware. Stay connected with Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe for free on YouTube and turn on notifications so you'll know instantly when we go live. You can also check Dr. Don's Weather 24 Forever on YouTube. Your radar and alert access, day or night, 365 days a year. From the west banks of the Tallapoosa to the rapids of the Chattahoochee, this is Dr. Don's Weather, keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware. Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get. They help make Dr. Don's Weather possible. During severe weather, staying situationally aware can save lives. The easiest way to do that is to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Every home should have a NOAA weather radio. If you don't have one, visit Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell them and can help you program your radio for your area. Make sure you and your family know your safe place at home, school, and at work. Go to the lowest floor or the basement if you have one, in an interior room away from windows, like a hallway, closet, or bathroom. Keep blankets, pillows, and mattresses nearby for protection from flying debris. Helmets are strongly recommended for head protection. Charge your phones ahead of the storm and keep battery banks, flashlights, and a whistle or noisemaker in your safe place. And don't forget, a pair of sturdy, hard-soled shoes can make a big difference if you need to move around after the storm. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to leave before the storm hits. Don't wait for a warning. Once the weather turns severe, driving can be just as dangerous as staying put. It's also important to understand weather terminology. A special weather statement means a storm is strong, but not yet severe. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather in your area. A warning means it's happening now. Take action immediately. A severe thunderstorm warning means a storm is producing winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail 1 inch or larger. A tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted or indicated by radar in your area. Treat every severe thunderstorm warning seriously. Straight-line winds over 58 miles per hour can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Remember, your level of awareness can make the difference. Stay alert. Stay safe. Always be weather aware. Stay connected with Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe for free on YouTube and turn on notifications so you'll know instantly when we go live. You can also check Dr. Don's Weather 24 forever on YouTube. Your radar and alert access, day or night, 365 days a year. From the west banks of the Tallapoosa to the rapids of the Chattahoochee, this is Dr. Don's Weather, keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware. Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live, wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get. They help make Dr. Don's Weather possible. During severe weather, staying situationally aware can save lives. The easiest way to do that is to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Every home should have a NOAA weather radio. If you don't have one, visit Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell them and can help you program your radio for your area. Make sure you and your family know your safe place at home, school, and at work. Go to the lowest floor or the basement if you have one, in an interior room away from windows, like a hallway, closet, or bathroom. Keep blankets, pillows, and mattresses nearby for protection from flying debris.
Spinning on a summer night, chat room lighting up left and right, storms rolling in across the state, everybody asking if it's coming their way. Roanoke checking in with the first hello, we to we asking where the storm might go, Woodland watching lightning in the sky, Whitey Lee typing on we next in line, Ashland asking if the wind will blow, Lineville wondering if the rain will show, Carrollton watching clouds build tall, Brewsterville saying what about us y'all, chat room buzzing, questions flying now, what about Roanoke, what about Weedawee, what about Woodland watching that storm on YouTube, what about Whiteley, what about Ashland tonight, what about Lineville under flashing lightning skies, if we ain't calling out your town on the air tonight, you can breathe easy, everything's alright if you don't hear your name in the warning call, you're sitting pretty, no worries at all. Franklin checking radar winds will spin. Dickard saying, Don, what do you see? I've been asking, is it headed to me? Frog eye checking lightning in the west. Valley wondering if they're next. Beans mill watching that radar spin. Everybody asking once a day. What about Roanoke? What about Weedawee? What about Woodley? Watching that storm on TV. Ashland, Lineville under flashing skies. Kettleton watching clouds roll by. Rock Mills, Big Springs asking where it'll go. Dickard up under, watching storms roll slow. Frog Eye Valley checking in the night. Beans Mill watching line and light. If we ain't calling out your town in the warning call, you're sitting pretty, no worries at all. Chat room rolling while the radar glows. Everybody asking where the storm will go. But if your town ain't in the path tonight, you can rest easy, everything's alright. And Dr. Dawn says goodnight.
No, 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 no. And there goes Remy's lashes. Sorry, I just had to add that in there. So I cannot say goodnight for East Alabama and West Georgia. I can say goodnight for Clanton, Alabama, Chilton County. I can say goodnight for Billingsley over in Autauga County. But that's, well, maybe Sylacauga, Childersburg, Talladega. The severe threat's pretty much past your area. But for the rest of you Thunder buddies out there, I cannot say goodnight just yet. But what I can tell you is we're watching really only one segment, one section of this line of storms right now that is showing signs that it is severe. And that is going to be this area from about Goodwater down to Rockford, and then down into northeastern Elmore County. There's just some ETAs on this storm. And we're looking at Rockford at around 12:44, which is right now. Alexander City about 1:07 a.m. Hackneyville around 1:09. Jackson Gap about 1:18. Goldville about 1:22. New Site about 1:22. Dadeville around 1:23. Mountain Community up in southern Clay County around 1:25. Motley at around 1:33. And Daviston at about 1:33. So I know Remy's having a fit, but Remy, this part of this line of storms is going to stay north of you. I told you earlier I kind of felt like it would. So I think we're looking pretty good down there in northern Lee County from this part of the storm. Now we've still got, the southern end of this line will come through Lee County later on. But that part that would move through Lee County, at least right now, is not severe. I have no way of knowing what it's going to look like when it gets over there. But right now, it's not severe. Good morning, Cecilia, down there in Pennon, Alabama. I cannot stretch it into LaGrange because the way this works, it only gives you a run for a certain period of time. I can't drag it on any further out right now because there's no telling what this is going to look like by the time it gets into LaGrange. It may look nothing like this, so it's pointless to try to tell you. I mean, I can tell you that. Let's see. That's about an hour That red area is about an hour. Probably an hour and 20, maybe hour and 30 minutes before it gets into LaGrange. With LaGrange sitting over here, maybe 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes maybe before LaGrange. But there's no way of knowing what this will look like by the time it gets over there. And it may not even look like this by the time it gets to the end of this range. We don't know. I can say, though, that this segment of this line has been strong. It's a long-lived, strong thunderstorm. It's been strong since it moved into Alabama several hours ago out of Mississippi. It really has just kind of maintained all the way across the state of Alabama. Good news is it hasn't produced any tornado activity. But straight-line winds of 60-plus miles per hour and up to 3/4-inch hail is certainly possible. Those of you in Chilton County and Autauga County, the Weather Service has canceled your part of the warning. The warning remains for northern Elmore and Coosa. I would anticipate an extension into Tallapoosa here in just a few minutes. No, it's moving a little bit north of due east. The individual cells are moving northeast, but the entire system is moving east. And it's just regenerating right there in that same little segment. I mean, you know, with each volume scan, it jots just barely northeast of where it was on the previous volume scan. So the general motion of the system is due east. Individual storms a little bit north of due east. No, it's a slow-moving storm system. This thing's taking forever. Yes, there's a possibility it could make it over to Franklin. That is your motion right there, basically. But watch what's happening down here north of Selma. We're beginning to see some convection blow up down there, too. So that'll rotate up here, and it'll replace what we've got right now, a little bit east of where it is right now. That's the way this works. This is going to affect basically everything in between those two lines. Southern Randolph, pretty much all of Tallapoosa, maybe with the exception of Tallahassee, and most of Chambers County. If it holds together, probably looking at a Franklin down to LaGrange, maybe Lynette Valley area. Close call for Camp Hill on the strongest part. You're going to get some rain and thunder and lightning, but the heaviest part, the part of the storm that's drawing the severe thunderstorm warning, I think stays a little bit north of Camp Hill. Well, Sherry, you got to find somewhere. There's got to be somebody you know somewhere. If you live in a, I don't know, what do you live in a mobile home, or, if you're in a stick-built home or a brick built home, you're fine. There's no point in going anywhere else. The only time you really need to go somewhere is if you're in a mobile home. And in that case, you got to find somebody somewhere. You got to have a friend. You got to have a family member. You got to have somewhere. During severe weather, if you want to take the course of least regret, you got to have somewhere to go. All right, there comes your new severe thunderstorm warning, and this is going to get southern Clay. Let's see here. Southern Clay and most of Tallapoosa. And I think eastern Coosa. Let me stop it so I can see what I'm looking at. All right, so we're talking southern Clay up to Ashland and right up there to Highway 48 at the Randolph County line. So it includes Bluff Springs, Mountain Community, New Site, Dadeville, Alexander City, Goodwater, Rockford. The storm's moving through Rockford right now. So Kellyton, you're next. So it does get the easternmost side of Coosa, almost all of Tallapoosa, with the exception of that little boot down there at the bottom where Tallahassee at. And it also gets the southern part of Clay up into the Ashland area and right over to Highway 48, right there at Flat Rock Park. That's the current warning that's just been issued. And if the storm holds together, by the time it makes it to Alexander City, or a little bit east, maybe around Dadeville, you'll see a new severe thunderstorm warning that'll most likely get central and southern Randolph and at least northern and probably central Chambers, if I had to guess. Pretty sure this is already cleared Pascagoula. Yeah. Pascagoula should not have any problems at all. Yeah, and while I'm down here looking, notice that we've lost all tornado warnings in the state of Alabama. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings down here in South Alabama for places like Monroeville, Atmore, all the way down to Foley, but no tornado warnings down there. That's a good thing. I'll tell you, I'm a little surprised we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm coming up on Montgomery. I would have thought that one would at least have a severe thunderstorm warning. That's a pretty strong storm there just north of Whitehall. But they're covering that with a special weather statement. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning up here in East Alabama. Now, the lightning output with this is not incredible. I mean, we're only looking at 12 strokes of lightning in the last 3 minutes with this particular storm that we're talking about. I'm gonna probe this right quick and see what kind of wind we got going on. And I'm looking at 20 to 30, maybe 35 mile per hour. You get back over here around Billingsley, and we've got some 40s and 50s. But right along this line, I'm not seeing I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of wind. We do have a little inflow notch right there. Right here. We're beginning to get a little rotation right there, too. Look at that. That looks suspicious to me. Right there. So you folks down here on Lake Martin, Miss Ellen, if you're still in here, be prepared to go to your safe place. Right there. Let me get in here and see if we can get some road names up. This is going to be just west of Highway 9 and the intersection of Highway 9 and Highway 22. That is... Okay, the lake's down here. This is going to move in this general direction, pretty much toward Jackson Gap. Again, nothing from the National Weather Service here, but we are seeing what appears to be some pretty significant broad rotation, but it's trying to tighten up a little bit. Right there. Right here. If we take, let's see here. All right, so we're talking about, that's 231, and this is Highway 22 coming out of Rockford. So we're looking at County Road 30, Coosa County Road 61, Robinson Road, County Road 79. These are Coosa County roads. That's the intersection of 9 and Highway 22. What is that? Kelly Crossroads, I think it is. We have some pretty good looking rotation right there. And I'm watching the Weather Service, and they are not they're not talking about this. And that doesn't look quite as tight as it appeared it was headed, though it's still there. Look at that. Right there. So we got some really heavy rain and probably some hail up there around Kellyton right now. Just south of Goodwater. Headed toward Hackneyville and, of course, Alexander City. And we're still watching this suspicious area here right on the coming up on the Tallapoosa-Coosa County line. Got that bow that should run, probably going to cross over 280 just south of Alexander City. All right, now the Weather Service is talking about it. They're saying watching a circulation southeast of Rockford in Coosa County, it is seemingly the first one of the night with some vertical depth to it, though it's still not too crazy. In layman's terms, that means the Weather Service is keeping an eye on that area, but they're not overly concerned about it right now. And that's this area right here. You'll notice that little bow right there. And then just a few moments ago when I switched over to the velocity, you could see that we have rotation, though it looked like it was trying to tighten up, but it wasn't quite tight enough to warrant a tornado warning. But anywhere in this area needs to pay attention to this. As this is going to move like so. So if you're south of Alexander City, if you're up there on the northern end of Lake Martin, Wind Creek area, you need to stay with me until we can get this through there, because that little kink in the line right there bears watching. There it is again. Right here. And again, the Weather Service advising us they are watching that. And we're in the chat room with them looking at the screen, and they will tell us in the chat room if they are going to pull the trigger on anything here, being possibly upgrading this to a tornado warning. It's marginal at the moment. And I will say that the computer algorithm's not screaming at us on this storm. I don't have a vortex. I don't even have a mesoscale showing up down here. But sometimes we don't get them. We can get a tornado warning without it. And that has broadened out a little bit now since the last volume scan. It's still there, but notice how we've got some distance now between the greens and the bright reds. Right there, you could see how it was kind of swirling in And now, when I bring it current, that was like 10 minutes ago. And then when I bring it current, you see how that's kind of flattened out right there. We don't have that inflow of rotation inflow going on, if you will, for lack of better terms. But we still got some wind right there, and we've got wind in a different direction over here. But that just means this whole thunderstorm is rotating broadly. Instead of it being very tight. And that's normal for a thunderstorm. So as long as it's not tightening up, we're good. And that inflow notch is not as prevalent as it once was either. So we just have broad rotation in that line right there. Here's you some more ETA times. Looking at Hackneyville in a couple of minutes. Alexander City by 1:11. Goldville about 1:26. Jackson Gap 1:26. New Site 1:27. Mountain Community about 1:29. Motley about 1:39. And Daviston around 1:40. Wadley, you're looking at about 150-ish. And again, in case you're just joining us, this is the only part of the line we're concerned about. And it doesn't look quite as strong as it once did, other than that little area coming up on Alexander City, which is trying to get another inflow notch on it now. Right there. The storm is pulling warm, moist air up into the storm. And that little notch right there is what you want to watch when you have a line of storms like this. We'll go back to the base velocity, and we've still got it. You can see it. There's the highest winds going away. There's the highest winds coming toward. But there's a good bit of distance between those two areas. So, again, we've just got broad rotation going on right there. But we got to watch this in case it tries to tighten back up again. But this is the only strong storm or severe storm we have. Let me give you the big picture. We have this one segment of the line that has been severe all the way across the state of Alabama. We have strong storms around Montgomery, but we have a special weather statement for those. So those storms are not as strong as what we're seeing up here in Tallapoosa County. And then down in South Alabama, we have one severe thunderstorm warning around Monroeville. And that'll be crossing over I-65. No tornado warnings anywhere in the state of Alabama. That's a really good thing. And then for you folks up here in North Georgia, let me switch to Atlanta right quick. So there's Dahlonega. Cleveland's right there. Clayton's up here in the corner. You have a line of showers and thunder showers moving across North Georgia, but there's nothing up here severe either. The only severe stuff we're dealing with across East Alabama is this one storm that just won't quit. Probably have hail now from about Millerville south to just north of Alexander City. That's about to move into the New Site area. Just cleared Goodwater. And then we have that little inflow notch right there over Alexander City. But at this point, there's no indication we have anything going on right there. Lauren, it's not good or bad as far as severity is concerned. It's bad in that you pick up a lot more rain in a shorter period of time because it's a slow-moving front. And upper level air currents dictate how fast storms move, and this storm system just happens to be a slow mover. But, typically doesn't have much bearing on the severity of the storms. Matter of fact, the faster they move sometimes can create more shear, which does make it more of a tornado atmosphere. So actually a slow-moving storm front in some situations, such as what we have this morning, is probably a good thing. It keeps the shear from causing the storms to go into rotation. Brittany, if it stays together like it is right now, and that's a big if, but if the storm does not change at all, if it doesn't weaken, it doesn't change complexity, nothing changes, then once it gets into Georgia, we're probably looking at something like so. I'm going to say, probably LaGrange up to maybe about Bowden is where the heaviest part of it will move. That's assuming nothing changes with the structure of the storm system. And that's still at least an hour away from happening in Georgia. Sharon, I don't think you need to take cover. We don't have a warning on this one, a tornado warning. I mean, you're in a sturdy structure, so you're as protected as you can be from a severe thunderstorm warning. So I think you're okay. Some of the heavier elements of this storm may actually be up there in southern Clay, down into extreme northern Tallapoosa. There are multiple ridges now along this line, but there's nothing that suggests we have a tornado going on here. So we should, if we're going to get an extension on this warning, it should happen here any moment. And what I anticipate, if they extend it, and I think they probably will, it will probably look like that. So the next warning will probably be from about Wedowee south in Randolph, and probably about Lafayette North and Chambers. I think we probably have a new warning. It'll either be a new warning or a special weather statement for those areas in between the two white bars I just drew on the map. Right now, I'm kind of leaning toward a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's marginal. New site. New site, you're right here. And there's your storm. So it's like minutes away from you. You know, and you're going to be okay. I mean, this, you know, you could have some pretty gusty winds. You're going to have rain. But I don't see anything suspicious. Well, we're looking at just north of New Site, we've got some 30-mile-per-hour winds. There's 36 just west of you. 36, 38, maybe 40, 42, 44. And this would be the part of the storm right down here that's going to move up through New Site. So you got 30 to 40-mile-per-hour winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but the rain can push that down to the ground. So you're going to know it's there, but I don't see anything of major concern. Let me put it that way. That right there is what will move right over New Site. Heavy rain up at Flat Rock. Yeah, the tornado watch was actually issued about a little over an hour ago, and then the wind advisory was issued about 30 minutes ago. Yes, once the main line passes through your town, you are clear to go to bed. I can say good night to Sylacauga, Talladega, Anniston. I can say good night to Clanton. Rainbow City, Gadsden. That's about it. I was trying to squeak out a few more East Alabama towns that can go to bed, but, Lineville, give it about 10 minutes and you can go. Delta, I think you're clear. Ranburne, Anniston, Oxford, Muscadine. I mean, right along the leading edge of this line is the only part of this that you need to be concerned about. And really, this area from just south of Lineville all the way down to just south of Alexander City is the only part of the line that you need to be concerned about. Hollins can go to bed over here in southwest Clay. This is the part that we're going to be keeping an eye on until this thing calms down or it gets out of our coverage area, whichever comes first. And we should get either a new severe thunderstorm warning or a special weather statement. I'm hoping for a special weather statement, but I'm not sure they're ready to do that just yet. We'll get a new something here in just a few minutes for Randolph and Chambers. Here we go. We will not continue downstream with a severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph and Chambers. Not seeing much on the power outages map and other things. Okay, so Birmingham is telling us they are not going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph and Chambers. And there's no mention that they're even going to issue a special weather statement, but surely they will. So according to Birmingham, this line is weakening, and they have no plans to extend the warning into Randolph and Chambers. Their contention is that most of this is elevated. They're not seeing ground truth reports of power outages, nor are they getting any reports of significant weather at the ground. The pink is either hail or extremely heavy rainfall. In most cases, it's hail. Cragford, I think you're safe to go to bed now. What do I think? I think I would at least have a special weather statement on the map for Randolph and Chambers. It may not be very widespread, but there are some pockets in there where we could have still have some, 40, 45 mile per hour wind gust and some hail. I'm a little gun shy, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not being critical of the Weather Service in Birmingham. It's just that, I spent 22 years in Randolph County, and weather was my thing, and I've been covering Randolph County from afar ever since we moved away 16 years ago. So I've been doing the weather in that part of East Alabama now for 35 or 40 years. And I cannot tell you the number of times we would have severe weather coming across the state. And once the storms get, over into East Alabama, they stop issuing statements and warnings. And then the second those storms hit the Georgia state line, Peachtree City starts issuing warnings again. And I can't help but wonder if Birmingham gets a little conservative because it's almost out of their coverage area, and Atlanta gets a little liberal because, hey, we got storms moving in. And I wish that those two offices would coordinate a little bit better on warnings. They now have issued a special weather statement, so that does make me feel a little bit better. Just looking at this storm, it looks like it should be a severe thunderstorm warning, but you have to understand the guys and gals at the Weather Service they go to school for 4 to 7 years to do this. They know what they're doing. And again, by no means am I trying to be critical at all. I respect them, and that's primarily what I do. And I just pass along the information from the National Weather Service. I do not make the weather forecast. I do not make the warnings. I do not make the watches. I take the information and pass it along to you in a street-level manner for East Alabama and West Georgia because Atlanta and Birmingham's not going to do that. and give it to you in a way that you can understand it and try to help you learn along the way and help you guys with the anxiety, weather anxiety. That's a real thing, and I know that. So that's our purpose. But I do feel better now that the Weather Service has at least gone with a special weather statement, and I will read that to you. Strong thunderstorms will impact Randolph, northern Tallapoosa, northwestern Chambers, and southeastern Clay counties through 2:15 a.m. At 1:25 a.m., Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms along a line extending from near Ashland to near Goldville to Alexander City to western Lake Martin. Movement was northeast at 40 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm are wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So that's a prime example of what a special weather statement does. Hey, this storm is strong enough for us to get your attention and talk to you about it, but it's not quite strong enough to meet the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning must have winds of 58 miles per hour or stronger, and must also or either must have hail 1 inch in diameter or greater. This storm now does not meet that criteria, so we're going with a special weather statement. Now, could it re-strengthen? It's possible. Not likely, because we're in the coolest part of the morning. And our hope is it doesn't re-strengthen. So here in just a few minutes, like 1 minute, you're going to see this orange box drop off. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. And you already see the brown box, which is right there, special weather statement. You want to zoom back out. You can see that that's pretty consistent with the rest of the state, other than one severe thunderstorm warning down there around Monroeville. Now, keep in mind, you can't see the convection down there because we're looking at this off the Atlanta radar site. Let's go back to Birmingham. And you can't see Mobile very good there either. Let's go to Mobile. Why not? We got folks down at Gulf Shores. All right, so there's a look from the Mobile radar, and you see that one heavy thunderstorm about to cross over I-65 down there just to the east of Monroeville and just south of Greenville. So that thing is headed on over. Heaviest part of it probably will move over Highway 29 north of Andalusia. And then you see Foley is about to get in on the action, Gulf Shores, that whole area down there. We had multiple tornado warnings down here earlier this evening, but for the last couple of hours, it's been all severe thunderstorm warnings. And then we'll go back to Birmingham. Go back to Birmingham. There we go. Heavy storm moving into Montgomery right now. That thing's got multiple vortex signatures and mesoscale cyclones on it. So I'm not really sure why we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery. But again, the folks up there at the Shelby County Airport know what they're doing, and I trust them. But that's mean looking right there moving into Montgomery. So that's what we got, folks. Special weather statement now for central and southern Randolph, northwestern down into central and west central Chambers, and pretty much all of Tallapoosa County with the exception of the boot down there at Tallahassee. Basically from Camp Hill north to Lineville, up to Graham, down to about Big Springs, back through Bacon Level, down to 5 Points, just southwest of Lafayette, and back over to Camp Hill. And Alexander City, you're on the very back edge of it. Weather conditions should be improving now in Alex City. Not a tremendous amount of lightning output. We're only looking at 16 strokes of lightning in the last 3 minutes. That's not, I mean, that's lightning, but it's not a lot. 100 strokes of lightning in the last 3 minutes is a lot to me. Cheez-Its and Oreos. You gone, Remy. I need some Krispy Kremes, what I need. That is my nemesis. I cannot drive past the red flashing light. I'm not talking about a traffic light. I'm talking about, well, it pretty much is a traffic light because I'm going to stop when I see it. Ashlyn. Do we want to let Ashlyn go to bed? And all of West Georgia's people say, no, they got to stay up until we get to go to bed. But I'm going to override that and say good night, Ashlyn. Good night, Millerville. Line will hang in there for just a few more minutes. Good night, Fuller's Crossroads, Center West. Newell, good night. I mean, all you folks up there above Wedowee can go to bed. There's just nothing happening up there other than some rain. Cleburne County, anybody in Cleburne can go to bed. All of Talladega County can go to bed. Goodwater, good night. Alexander City, give it a few more minutes. Rockford, good night. Sylacauga, Childersburg, good night. Coming on down the line. I'm not ready to call it for Prattville just yet. Otagoville can go to bed. Montgomery, you got a big one coming at you, and it's just a special weather statement. They're not issuing a warning on this. And I think Alexander City's safe to go to bed now, too. And I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to stay with this until we get it. We're going to stay with this and see what Peachtree City is going to do for our West Georgia counties. If they go with special weather statement, we're probably going to wind this thing up because there's nothing severe out there. Our threshold to go live is a warning. We have no warnings out there, but since we've been with you this whole time, I'm going to hang in here with you until we see what Peachtree City is going to do. If they go special weather statement or no statement at all, then we are going to wrap this thing up, and I'll continue to monitor offline, and if things were to change, I'll come right back. But that's the plan at the moment. I'm going to put this back in motion, and I'm going to take another break. I have to recycle some coffee here. And I'll be back in just a minute or two. Hang in there with us. You're watching live severe weather coverage on Dr. Don's Weather.
Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get. They help make Dr. Don's Weather possible. During severe weather, staying situationally aware can save lives. The easiest way to do that is to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Every home should have a NOAA weather radio. If you don't have one, visit Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell them and can help you program your radio for your area. Make sure you and your family know your safe place at home, school, and at work. Go to the lowest floor or the basement if you have one, in an interior room away from windows, like a hallway, closet, or bathroom. Keep blankets, pillows, and mattresses nearby for protection from flying debris. Helmets are strongly recommended for head protection. Charge your phones ahead of the storm and keep battery banks, flashlights, and a whistle or noisemaker in your safe place. And don't forget, a pair of sturdy, hard-soled shoes can make a big difference if you need to move around after the storm. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to leave before the storm hits. Don't wait for a warning. Once the weather turns severe, driving can be just as dangerous as staying put. It's also important to understand weather terminology. A special weather statement means a storm is strong, but not yet severe. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather in your area. A warning means it's happening now. Take action immediately. A severe thunderstorm warning means a storm is producing winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail 1 inch or larger. A tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted or indicated by radar in your area. Treat every severe thunderstorm warning seriously. Straight-line winds over 58 miles per hour can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Remember, your level of awareness can make the difference. Stay alert. Stay safe. Always be weather aware. Stay connected with Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe for free on YouTube and turn on notifications so you'll know instantly when we go live. You can also check Dr. Don's Weather 24 Forever on YouTube. Your radar and alert access, day or night, 365 days a year. From the west banks of the Tallapoosa to the rapids of the Chattahoochee, this is Dr. Don's Weather, keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware. Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get. They help make Dr. Don's Weather possible. During severe weather, staying situationally aware can save lives. The easiest way to do that is to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Every home should have a NOAA weather radio. If you don't have one, visit Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell them and can help you program your radio for your area. Make sure you and your family know your safe place at home, school, and at work. Go to the lowest floor or the basement if you have one, in an interior room away from windows, like a hallway, closet, or bathroom. Keep blankets, pillows, and mattresses nearby for protection from flying debris. Helmets are strongly recommended for head protection. Charge your phones ahead of the storm and keep battery banks, flashlights, and a whistle or noisemaker in your safe place. And don't forget, a pair of sturdy, hard-soled shoes can make a big difference if you need to move around after the storm. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to leave before the storm hits. Don't wait for a warning. Once the weather turns severe, driving can be just as dangerous as staying put. It's also important to understand weather terminology. A special weather statement means a storm is strong, but not yet severe. A watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather in your area. A warning means it's happening now. Take action immediately. A severe thunderstorm warning means a storm is producing winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail 1 inch or larger. A tornado warning means a tornado has been spotted or indicated by radar in your area. Treat every severe thunderstorm warning seriously. Straight-line winds over 58 miles per hour can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Remember, your level of awareness can make the difference. Stay alert. Stay safe. Always be Weather Aware. Stay connected with Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe for free on YouTube and turn on notifications so you'll know instantly when we go live. You can also check Dr. Don's Weather 24 forever on YouTube. Your radar and alert access, day or night, 365 days a year. From the west banks of the Tallapoosa to the rapids of the Chattahoochee, this is Dr. Don's Weather, keeping you safe, informed, and weather aware. Dr. Don is currently taking a short break, but he'll be back shortly with more live wall-to-wall coverage of this severe weather event. While we wait, we'd like to thank our amazing community partners for supporting this live coverage. You can see them at the bottom of your screen. Please support these local businesses every chance you get.
When the sky turns dark,
you know who to turn to.
Dr. Don's Weather, we're watching it all.
Oh yeah.
From Talladega down the back stretch of Newland where the pines lean low, Anderson streets, rolling oak front porches, we track every twist of the storm as it grows.
The Grange back roads, oh pull like cool lights.
We stay awake till the first daylight. Dr. Don's Weather, we got you covered. East Alabama, West Georgia, under our wings. When the sky turns black and the hail starts falling, we're on the air, we're calling your town by name. From the Tallapoosa to the Chattahoochee, Dr. Don's Weather, we stay with you
Till it's through. Mama in Valley praying quiet, farmer near Woodland checking the sky.
Families in Carroll Turner, those sirens as the warnings fly.
Dr. Don's voice strong through the static and rain.
Stay safe, stay calm, we're here again. Dr. Don's Weather, we got you covered. East Alabama, West Georgia, under our wings. When the sky turns black and the winds start howling, we're on the air, we're calling your town by name. From the Tallapoosa to the Chattahoochee, Dr. Don's Weather, we stay with you
Till it's through, yeah.
every county road, every porch light glow. We don't look away till the last line goes. You're not alone. You're not alone. Dr. Don's Weather, we got you covered. East Alabama, West Georgia, under our wings. When the sky turns black and the sirens wailing, we're on the air, we're calling your town by name. From the Tallapoosa to the Chattahoochee, Dr. Don's Weather, we stay with you
Till it's through.
from Talladega to Newland,
From Anniston to Roanoke to
LaGrange and Opalacool.
Dr. Don's Weather's there with you.
When the skies turn dark on Dr. Don's Weather, that's the Dr. Don Singers. Oh, you guys want to sing again, do you? Yeah, well, we're gonna have to stop it.
When the
Sorry about that. We got to talk weather. So lots of questions about who is singing that song. Folks, I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. That is artificial intelligence. That is AI. It took me about a week to produce that, and I did produce it. I worked on the lyrics and did all the mix on it and all that kind of stuff. But that is produced by artificial intelligence, and it's incredible. Good stuff right there. So we are on the air with you live, and we are going to stay with you until we get this thing, at least until we see what Peachtree City is going to do when this line moves into the state of Georgia. And they should be issuing here any time on what they're going to do, whether they're going to issue a special weather statement or whether they're going to upgrade this. Right now, I think they'll go with special weather statement. As we're looking at this, that's what Alabama has chosen to do for Randolph, Eastern Tallapoosa, and Western Chambers. We do have extremely heavy rainfall, and we have got wind gusts maybe up to 50 miles per hour along this line, which I'm not trying to minimize things. A 50-mile-per-hour wind gust can knock down trees and limbs and can cause a problem. But at the moment, this storm has weakened from its state of about 30 minutes ago. So the Weather Service in Birmingham allowed the severe thunderstorm warning, which was in effect just to the west of this. They replaced it with a special weather statement because it does not meet severe weather criteria at the moment. And I don't see any signs of it strengthening. I think it's slowly weakening as it moves on off to the east. So very heavy rainfall out there on 48 just to the west of Wedowee. That'll be coming into Wedowee here at any moment. You got heavy rain there at Almond and Malone. Very heavy rainfall down here at Wadley. I'll take you in a little bit tighter so you can see the towns. Heavy rainfall about to move into the Corinth community, Wadley. Heavy rain up there at R.L. Harris Dam. Heavy rainfall on 48 moving into downtown Wedowee. Heavy rainfall up at Fuller's Crossroads. Woodland, you got about another 5-10 minutes or so, and the heavy rainfall will be there. Moderate rain up there at Graham, and that's as far north as the special weather statement goes. So Roxton, this will be in your area in the next 15-20 minutes. Same for East Randolph Volunteer Fire Department out there at the State Line store, probably about 30 minutes. Roanoke, you've got 20 to 30 minutes before the line gets to you. Very heavy rainfall in Daviston. You folks over here in Penton, you got 15-20 minutes. Same for Milltown. Abanda, probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Dickert, you're probably about 10 to 15 minutes away from it. Heavy rain continues in New Site, Jackson Gap. Moderate rain back in Alexander City, but you're out of the severe threat. Alexander City can go to bed. Hackneyville can go to bed. Mountain Community, good night. Millerville, good night. Ashland, good night. Lineville, good night. Fuller's Crossroads, Center West, Delta. All of those locations can call it a night. And I'll be clearing some other locations here shortly. Remy, you tickle me. Impending doom. There is nothing headed toward Beans Mill that should cause you to feel impending doom. We don't have, there's nothing severe out there at the moment. Gusty, lots of rain, maybe a little thunder and lightning, but nothing severe at the moment. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate the kind words. What about Lynette? We got a what about? Not a what about. We have a what about. Let me turn that up so y'all can hear it real good. Gabrielle, welcome to the Dr. Don What About Club. You should go over to the Dr. Don Weather Store and buy you a Dr. Don What About shirt. What about Lynette? Lynette's in East Alabama. You got a lot of thunderstorms coming through Tallapoosa County that will make it over to Lynette in about 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And you're going to have gusty winds. You're going to have rain. You're going to have a little thunder and lightning. At the moment, there is nothing severe moving toward Lynette. Got Remy's attention. Oh, Springfield wants to go to bed. And it ain't got to y'all yet. Lake Martin. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. North end of Lake Martin can go to bed. Yeah, the north side of the lake can go to bed. If you're down there on the south end, I'd wait just a little bit longer. Right down in this area. But if you're up here on the Alexander City side of Lake Martin, I think you're okay. You're still officially under the tornado watch until all of this completely moves out of the county. They're not going to release the tornado watch and while there's still a thunderstorm ongoing in a county that's under a tornado watch. Now, I would say in about an hour, once all of this completely clears out of Randolph County, I'm talking about that initial part of the line. Once it gets completely out of Randolph County, then they will drop the tornado watch for Randolph County. But they're not going to do that. They take the absolute course of least regret, and they're not going to release a county until the line is completely out of that county. No, they will trim counties off the backside of the watch. The watch is not going to stay in place for Randolph County until 8 a.m. Eastern. I can assure you, they will trim counties off the backside of it as the line moves through. Gabrielle, if you absolutely do not have a safe place to go, if you've got to stay in the house, go to the center of the house. There has to be a center part of the house. You want to put as much room or space between you and the exterior walls of the home. If you just don't have a safe place there, then you need to find somewhere else you can go to when a watch is issued. You don't ever want to wait until a warning is issued because then you're putting yourself at greater risk by trying to drive somewhere in the middle of a storm. But there has to be a center part of the home, and that's where you would want to be. Possibly a power outage in the Jackson Gap area. Heavy rain in the Motley community. Do you have a wind gauge, Austin? Where are you getting the 50-mile-per-hour winds from? Dadeville. Let's see. No, Dadeville, the line hadn't moved through your area yet. I mean, it's right there on your doorstep. But it has not cleared Dadeville just yet. Morrison's Crossroads, give it another 2 or 3 minutes, then you can start heading that way. Yeah, you can start heading that way. You can go on and get your teeth brushed and, all the things you'd do before you go to bed. You'll be okay by the time you get ready. Yes, Angie, that the Angels of America is also AI. But that's a fine tune right there. That is some good stuff. And I may play it before we get out of here. No. Oh, you're using Radar Omega. I'm clear. Well, you do know that that's estimated. That's not absolute 100%. Well, let me switch to Atlanta. I'm showing 11.5 miles per hour in Wedowee. I don't see anything approaching 50 miles per hour. There's a 26. And that's down there that's about Standing Rock, or maybe a little bit north of it, or Rock Stand, I should say. Yeah, I don't see anything approaching 50. Now, the special weather statement that has been issued is for wind up to 50 miles per hour. But I don't see anything approaching 50 miles per hour around Wedowee. Even out here on the leading edge of it, we do have some 35, maybe 40 mile per hour winds out on the leading edge. When that came through Wedowee, you could have had a gust 40, 45 miles per hour. And that would have come right through Wedowee about 5 minutes ago. So that's certainly conceivable. There's some 50 mile per hour winds in extreme northwest Chambers County. But again, understand, this is not at the ground. This is up at about 2,000 to 3,000 feet. That far away from the radar, maybe at about 4,000 feet. But the wind, the precipitation can push that wind to the ground. I mean, there's almost a 60 mile per hour. There is a 60 miles per hour, and that's right there on the Tallapoosa Chambers County line, just inside Chambers County. Well, so far, Peachtree City has not issued anything. And I'm in the chat room, and they have not said anything. I'm just going to ask them. All right, we'll see what they say. Daviston. Well, let's see here. You got some. You had some that was probably approaching 30 to 40 in Daviston. But right now, I'm not seeing anything over about 20 in the Daviston area. The heavier winds are now from about Milltown down to around Sykes over in Western Chambers. Maybe some 30, 40 mile an hour winds around Dickert, just west of Roanoke. But the strongest winds right now are going to be from Milltown down to just north of Sykes. And there's a 60 mile per hour gust just west of Sykes and a 58 mile per hour gust southwest of Sykes. So north of Camp Hill all the way up to about Milltown is where the heaviest wind is right now. Wadley had a very strong part of that line move through, and you're in that special weather statement polygon. But yeah, the heaviest for Wadley has probably pushed on through. Things should slowly start improving for you now. Emma, it depends on if I'm waiting to see what Peachtree City is going to do. If they do not issue anything in West Georgia, we're going to put this to bed because there's nothing to be concerned about. I mean, you're going to have a thunderstorm, but right now there's nothing out there that's severe. We're waiting to see if Peachtree City is going to, what they're going to do. And I'm beginning to think they're not going to issue anything because they should have already issued by now. But I was waiting to see if maybe Hurd and Troop, especially Hurd, maybe Southern Carroll, I was waiting to see if they catch a special weather statement, which is what Alabama has got, but they have not issued anything. I think we're going to see a little lull in the action now. And then by the time this line gets over into maybe the I-75 corridor, we could see it re-intensify. There goes the special weather statement. So we got a special weather statement now for Western Troop, most all of Hurd, Southern Carroll, let me just read the text of it to you. All right, so strong thunderstorms will impact portions of Southern Carroll, Hurd, Western Troop, and northeastern Coweta County through 3:30 a.m. At 3:05 a.m., a line of strong thunderstorms was located extending from near Newell to Crystal Lake to near Ridge Grove and moving east at 35 miles per hour. Hazard is up to 40-mile-per-hour winds, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, and heavy rain. So, the storm does continue to weaken. You'll notice over here in Alabama, their special weather statement indicated 50-mile-per-hour winds, and the one that Georgia just issued, the special weather statement for West Georgia, indicates 40-mile-per-hour winds. So I would anticipate that in the next 20-25 minutes, once this line moves through West Georgia, I don't know that we see an extension of any other advisories any further east, because this line is slowly weakening. Now, you got lots of rain behind it. It's going to rain for a while, but the part of this line that has been severe across most of the state of Georgia, most of the state of Alabama, is now finally weakening as it gets into East Alabama and West Georgia. And the National Weather Service has now canceled the tornado watch for Autauga, Coosa, and Lowndes counties of central Alabama. The watch continues for Barber, Bullock, Chambers, Elmore, Lee, Macon, Montgomery, Pike, Randolph, Russell, and Tallapoosa. But they will clear those counties once the line of storms gets out of East Alabama. So they are in the process of trimming off counties on the backside of this thing. I can give all clear to Clay County. If you're in Clay County, you can go to bed. If you're in Talladega County, you can go to bed. Cleburne County, Calhoun County, you can go to bed. Coosa County, you can go to bed. Chilton, Autauga, you can go to bed. Alexander City can go to bed. The rest of, Daviston and New Site, Goodwater, Alexander City can all go to bed. Jackson Gap, you can go to bed. Dadeville, I'd hang on a little bit longer. And again, the heaviest part of this at the moment, according to radar, is going to be this little segment down here in Chambers to the northwest of Lafayette, right there at Pennon. So Miss Cecilia, the heaviest part of this line, though it's not severe, the heaviest part of it is just out your back porch, looking back to the west. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate your kind words. The National Weather Service is trimming counties off of the tornado watch. Autauga, Coosa, and Lowndes County have just been canceled. Carroll. You just went under a special weather statement. The southern half of Carroll County. Now, from Carrollton north, you're okay. You can go to bed. But, Bucktown, Roopville, Ephesus, that area, south and southwest of Carrollton, just went under a special weather statement. It's not severe. I mean, it depends on what your tolerance level is. If it were me, and my tolerance level is very high, I would go to bed during a special weather statement. That wouldn't bother me. If it were a severe thunderstorm watch, or obviously if it was a severe thunderstorm warning, or obviously if it was a tornado warning, I wouldn't. But special weather statement, my tolerance level is pretty high. I would go to bed. But that's up to you. Up there in Carroll County. Or anywhere across East Alabama for that matter. Good night, Flat Rock. Oh, that ain't me singing. I guarantee you that's not me singing. There's no danger of me leaving you guys and going to Nashville. Thank you, Emma. That's why we're here. We want to help you guys through these storms and make you feel good about it. And, you know, weather anxiety is a real thing. And I want to be here to talk you through it. You know, we've had severe weather in this old world ever since the day the lights were turned on, and we'll probably have severe weather the day the good Lord decides to turn the lights out. It's part of life. It's what we do. And if you're informed, and if you understand what's happening, and if you are situationally aware, you're putting yourself in a high likelihood category of not being injured by severe weather. So you guys that are tuned in with us here on Dr. Don's Weather, you're doing everything you need to do. You've already picked out where your safe place is going to be. You got a plan. And this is what we do. Woodland, I think so. Good night, Woodland. Again, LaGrange, that's up to your level of tolerance, your tolerance level. The line hadn't got to you yet, but there's nothing severe coming your way. It's going to be raining, it's going to be thundering, going to be lightning, but it's not severe. So it depends on your tolerance level of whether you think you can sleep through it or not. Yeah, good night, Wadawi. Yeah, it's just now moving into the Roanoke area. There you go. There's the Roanoke Airport right there. Just got a report in the chat room. The winds are picking up there at the airport. That line is quickly moving over Roanoke as we speak. But again, folks, I'm getting a lot of questions in here about whether I should go to bed or not. There is no severe weather anywhere across East Alabama and West Georgia. These are special weather statements, which basically is, hey, this storm is a little stronger than your average thunderstorm, but I am well below severe limits. I don't think we're going to see anything go severe. I think we're in that lull now where we're not going to have any severe weather for another couple of hours, and then as the sun starts coming up and the day starts heating over in middle Georgia and eastern Georgia, we could see more severe weather. But we're in the coolest part of the day now. We've lost all the heating. All the energy's gone. and we've just got some heavy thunderstorms, not really severe or not severe. They're well below severe limits. So whether or not you want to go to bed depends on your tolerance level of being able to sleep with it, rain hitting the roof. Myself, that makes it easier for me to sleep. I don't have a problem with rain hitting the roof, but everybody's different about that, and you have to make that call. But there's nothing out there severe, and I don't expect anything to go severe. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, you could have a little hail in there. I mean, that's certainly possible. I don't see anything on radar, but it doesn't that doesn't mean anything. There might be a little bit. I'm talking maybe pea-sized hail out there on the west side of Roanoke, and I see a little bit up there in the area of Taylor's Crossroads. I'm talking just a very small, couple of small spots up there. Yeah, most of the wind that I can find, I mean, I'm seeing some 50 mile per hour, maybe 60 or close to it, just west of Welch in northern Chambers. And then again, just northwest of Buffalo. But again, understand that's up at 4,000 feet. That's not at the ground. But the rain can occasionally push that down to the ground, so you could have some pretty big gusts there from Pennon down to Buffalo and back over toward 5 Points, and then up there right along the Randolph County, Chambers County line at Welch, in the general vicinity of Ruth's Flea Market. You see it right there on the radar. I guarantee you that dude that does that Alabama weather thing over in Birmingham don't have Ruth's Flea Market on his map. I guarantee you he don't. And don't nobody go tell him so you'll put it on there. I got to have something on him. You know who I'm talking about. We got a volume scan update as I was talking about Ruth's Flea Market, and we got some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere right there. So 25, 30, 35 mile per hour wind gust at Ruth's Flea Market as we speak. Certainly plausible. And that's pretty much right along Highway 431 from Buffalo all the way up to Welch. Noticed Bacon Level is in the room with us this morning. There you are, Bacon Level. Rock Mills. And don't see much in the way of wind. Maybe just a little bit south of Bacon Level. We got some 25, 30 mile per hour winds, but I don't see anything significant there. No question, along this entire line, the stronger winds are from the Randolph-Chambers County line all the way down through or to southwest Chambers County. So the biggest winds are in Chambers County. RF is radio frequency. So let me give you a little weather radar 101. So the way a radar works, it is a big transmitter. Big, huge transmitter. A transmitter is what sends out a signal. This is a simple analogy, but it's like listening to an FM radio station. A radio station has a big, huge transmitter that transmits its signal to your radio in your car. So a radar is nothing but a big, huge transmitter. It's sending out radio frequency. It's sending out a radio signal. It also has a receiver built into the transmitter. Transmitter sends it, receiver receives it, okay? So the receiver is sitting there listening for the exact same frequency that the transmitter is sending out. And when that radio frequency hits the water particles in the clouds, it reflects that signal back to the receiver. Depending on how strong that receiving signal is, the radar can depict what's happening in the atmosphere. And the more signal it receives back, the darker the colors you see on the radar, meaning that the water droplets in that cloud are extremely dense. Where you see the green, most of the radio signal is getting through that cloud. Where you see the red and the purples and the pinks, most of the radio signal is being reflected back to the receiver in the radar because it can't go through those heavy, dense water droplets and ice crystals up in the atmosphere. Then the radar looks for motion. And depending on the direction those rain droplets are moving, it can measure whether or not we have rotation in the clouds. That's what RF is. It's radio frequency. So if you have, and you'll see dBz in there a good bit too, and that's giving you a measurement of how much radio frequency is coming back to the radar site. If you look up there at the very top of the screen, you'll see a legend up here. So the darker, the higher the dBz's. So you get up there around 40, that's becoming significant. You get up there around 56 and 60, that means that storm is sending most of that radio transmission back to the receiver, telling us that storm is very strong, or at least the rain droplets in that storm are very dense, and it's reflecting most of that power back to the radar. You got a 101, you didn't even know it was going to happen. How about that? That's pretty cool. Thank you, Cecilia. All right, so the NOAA weather radios that I tell you need to have, everybody needs to have one in their house. It doesn't tune to a radio station like a music playing radio station. The National Weather Service has strategically placed I'm tired, transmitters all over Alabama and Georgia. So they have their own transmitters that transmits a signal that your NOAA weather radio can receive. Every NOAA weather radio comes with 7 pre-programmed channels or frequencies. And when you get your NOAA weather radio home, you simply select the strongest one you can receive, and it constantly, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, broadcast weather information. It'll give you the current conditions. It will give you the weather forecast. It will give you more weather information than you ever want to know. And then you can mash a button, which makes it go silent. And you don't hear anything until a warning is issued or a watch is issued for the county you're programmed to listen for. So I'll just use Chambers for an example. If you live in Lafayette and you get a NOAA weather radio, you want to program that thing to listen for alerts for Chambers County, and I would program it for Tallapoosa and Lee and Clay and maybe even Randolph. So that way you're pretty much covered regardless of the direction the weather comes from. That way you get a one county heads up before the weather gets to your county that you live in. That gives you a little extra time to go to your safe place or make other plans. So regardless of which county you live in, you should program it for your county and one county in all directions around you, maybe with the exception of the county directly to your east. We occasionally do get weather from the east, but we typically don't get severe weather from the east, though I've seen that happen before too. But that's the safest way to program those NOAA weather radios. And they listen to transmitters that are owned by the National Weather Service or the federal government. Roanoke. How's it looking for Roanoke? I'm telling you, that's on the verge of a what about. Well, certainly the strongest part of the line has now cleared Roanoke. You're on the backside of it. Let's put it that way. I'd give it another 15, 20 minutes, and just as soon as this brown polygon drops off for Roanoke, then you're safe to go to bed. Though you're safe to go to bed right now if you want to. There's no severe weather out there. It's just a special weather statement. What time is it here? It's 2:28. So we're going to probably ride this thing for about another 10 to 15 minutes, and then we are going to, I got to get up in an hour and a half and go to work. So I don't really think that's going to happen. I may be a little bit late this morning. Actually, it's 3:28, so I typically get up at 5 a.m., so about an hour and a half from now is my normal rise and shine time. I don't think that's going to happen this morning because I'm not going to do a primetime forecast, and that's primarily why I get up so early every morning, so I can get your weather forecast done before I go to work. So I'm going to hang with you for about another 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to put this thing to bed. There's no severe weather out there. If there was, I would stay with you, but there's not. Wadley can go to bed. Ephesus, you got some heavy showers around you, but nothing severe. Eastern Coweta, you can go to bed, but the line hadn't gotten to you yet. But you can go to bed because there's nothing severe coming your way. It's just going to be a heavy thunder shower. I appreciate those kind words. This is just something I've done in my entire life, going way back to my early radio days back in the late 70s and early 80s. And if I have indeed helped save one life, it will have been well worth it. Wind is whooping in Rootville. The line is just now coming through Standing Rock. But again, folks, there's nothing to clear because we don't have anything severe. It's strong, but not severe. No severe weather out there at all across East Alabama and West Georgia. These are special weather statements, which simply means, hey, this storm is a little bit stronger than your average afternoon thunder shower, so we want to make sure you're aware. You know, you could get 25, 30 mile per hour wind gust and, temporary heavy rainfall and maybe even a little small hail in there. But these storms are well below severe limits this morning across East Alabama and West Georgia. The NOAA weather radios. Gabrielle's asking that question. Any department store, but if you're within driving distance of Roanoke, you can go to Stevens Home Furniture in Roanoke. They sell NOAA weather radios, and they'll help you get it programmed as well. I got a hard time believing 72 mile per hour gusts between Wedowee and Roanoke. That would bring down bunches of trees. And that certainly isn't the case at the moment, because that line has already cleared Wedowee and pretty much cleared Roanoke. I don't know when he made that statement, and I don't know what he was looking at that showed that, because I did not see it. Not disputing the man. He is the man. Span is the man. I agree with you 100%. But I have not seen anything that suggested we had 72 mile per hour wind gusts between Wedowee and Roanoke. I guarantee you, Gabrielle, it's the best $35-40 you'll ever spend. Yes, I do anticipate the watch will be canceled in Lee. They're not going to cancel it once they're issued, regardless of whether the weather is severe or not. They are not going to cancel it until the line completely clears your county, and then they will cancel the watch for those counties that no longer have any threat whatsoever. Just like right now, they have already canceled Coosa. Well, Clay never was in it, but they have canceled, let's see, Talga, Coosa, Lowndes, yeah. They will be releasing Randolph, Tallapoosa, and Elmore pretty soon, because the threat of severe weather has all but ended in those counties. I mean, the only part of Randolph that still has any threat at all is that extreme southeastern corner. Now, Chambers still has the line right down the middle of the county, so even though there is nothing severe there, the threat continues until that line's completely gone. And the same for southern Tallapoosa. Most of Tallapoosa County is in the clear, with the exception of the boot down there, where Tallahassee and Reeltown down to Tallahassee. And then over in West Georgia, most of Carroll County is in the clear. The line stretches right through the middle of Hurd, has not even moved into Troop or Harris yet. And most of Lee County, Alabama has not experienced it yet. It's just now moving into the extreme northwest corner of Lee. But again, it is not severe. The green triangle is a hail marker. That's the computer saying, I think there might be some hail here. And the probability that we have hail down there where you're seeing that marker is only 20%. And then that green circle you see spinning is a mesodetection. That's telling us that the storm is rotating. All thunderstorms rotate. That's what makes them a thunderstorm. And so here we have a mesodetection index of about 5. And that's not overly impressive. That is very broad rotation in that storm, which simply means it's behaving just exactly the way a thunderstorm is supposed to. There's nothing there that indicates we have anything like a tornado taking place down there. Hey, look, it's going to be windy everywhere. We got a wind advisory in effect. So even after the main line moves through, you could see winds sustained at 25 to 30 with occasional gusts of 40. And it's going to be like that through 7 o'clock tonight. So the wind is going to be a thing all day long. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. I do want to let you hear one more song before we get out of here. And this is a patriotic song that we have produced. It's called Angels of America. And there's, folks, regardless of your political views, whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, whether you're in the middle, whether you're an independent, whether you could care less, or whether you care a lot, we have to support the men and women of the United States military, especially when they are in a defense posture. And our United States military is in a situation right now, good, bad, and different, whether you like it or not. You got to support the men and women that keep you free so that you can watch Dr. Don's weather, so that I'm free and can give you the information you need to be safe. You think about the way things are over in Iran right now. They don't even have internet. Their government turned the internet off so that the outside world could not see what's happening in their country, and so that their own people can't get their hands on news coming from the rest of the world. Our men and women of the United States military, both present and past, have fought in this country since day one for 250 years to keep this land free so that we can do everything that we do that we take for granted. And I have a personal reason for producing the song that I'm about to play to you. I cannot go into and will not go into any details, but I can just tell you that I have personal reasons, selfish personal reasons, because this applies to every man, woman in the United States military, both past and present. And I want you to enjoy. It's strong. I'm telling you now, it's strong. Remy, them lashes probably fixing to come off. You're going to have to go over and grab you a Kleenex. This is a strong song, and I want you to get something out of it. Let me make sure I've got it set up right so we can play it. I believe that will work right there. This is called Angels of America.
In the quiet of the morning light, another soldier boards a midnight flight across the oceans far from home, where freedom's seeds are always sown. From small town roads to desert sand, they carry the weight of this land. Boots on the ground where the brave still stand, holding the line with steady hands. Army marching through dust and flame, Marines standing strong in freedom's name. Air Force wings through the midnight air, guarding every soul back home somewhere. They are the angels of America, standing watch through the darkest night, guardians of hope and freedom. 250 years of sacrifice. Through every storm and every fight, from valley fields to foreign lands, freedom was built by steady hands. Veterans who wore the uniform through every battle, every storm. The courage echoes through the years in quiet pride and silent tears. Back home, a porch light's burning bright. A mother whispers prayers each night. A wife holds tight to wedding bands. A father waits with folded hands. Sons and daughters look into the sky, watching the planes as they pass by.
Every heart that waits back home shares the weight of the unknown.
Hear the thunder in the rising drums. Hear the promise of the days to come. Through sacrifice and through the years, freedom stands because they're here. They are the angels of America, guardians standing brave and strong. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard marching on through every storm and every war. Through every sacrifice they give, they stand so freedom still can breathe. They stand so America can live. So America can live.
How about that? That took about a week and a half because, folks, that is artificial intelligence. Is that not the most amazing thing? All the music that you hear on Dr. Don's Weather is artificial intelligence. Now, I mean, it's not like you just go in there and say, hey, do this. I mean, you can, but it's not going to come out that well. I worked on that thing for about a week, and there's still a few little tweaks I want to do to it. And I'm also working on an extended play cut that's going to be even more awesome than what you just listened to, if you can believe that. I've already heard parts of the extended cut, and it is just incredible. There were a lot of questions there about can I share this? Can I play this on Spotify? You can do whatever your heart's desire is with that song. The idea behind it is for everybody in this world to hear that song. I mean, I developed it on AI, but there are no copyrights on it. You can do whatever you want to with it. So please do. I want it to go viral. So if you can share it with all your friends on social media, play it on Spotify, download it and put it on your YouTube, whatever you want to do with it. You're perfectly fine to do so. You can go to Dr. Don, that's DRDONWX.com. And right there on the home page, there is a link where you can download all the music that we produce and play here on Dr. Don's Weather. You can get Angels of America, you can get When the Skies Turn Dark, and you can get the Dr. Don What About song. All of that, and you can download it, and you're free to do whatever you want to with it. So, yeah, it's a beautiful piece of music. Absolutely it is, and I'm one of those music geeks. I mean, I just love music. It's been a huge part of my life since I can remember listening to music, and I've just always been fascinated by it, the emotions that it brings, and I think it's what connects this world. Honestly, I believe that, and so I hope that if nothing else, that song will help some people who may not understand how important our freedom is in this country. And it would not even be a thing if it were not for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. And we thank you, And to our veterans, my goodness, you're just as big a part of where we are today as anything, or probably the biggest part of where we are today. And then the younger ones are carrying that on. So thank you for your service. The debt can never be paid back, and we love each and every one of you. So there you go. Looking at the screen, we have lost the special weather statements. We have no more special weather statements for Randolph County. The West Georgia special weather statements have been canceled. The only thing we've got is a special weather statement for extreme southern Chambers and for Lee. And again, that part of the storm moving into that area is well below severe limits. Had a question about the little curly cues, the little circles. I've explained that multiple times tonight, but you know, I know I don't expect everybody to listen to every word I say. Why would they? I wouldn't. Those are mesoscale indications, which simply says, hey, this thunderstorm's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's rotating. That's all that is. That is one thing you look at when you're looking for rotation that may be making it to the ground, but that's not the only thing you look for. There are multiple other factors. That's just one of them. And so that's just telling us we've got broad rotation in this storm, which is exactly what you should have in a thunderstorm, a healthy thunderstorm. And that's what this is. It's healthy. Not severe. It's below severe limits. There are no tornadoes in there. And I don't anticipate any tornadoes. We're going to watch this, continue watching this offline. If something were to change, we'll come right back and we'll continue with our coverage. But that's going to wrap it up for now. And we'll watch this offline. I will not have a primetime forecast for you this morning because it's about this time I get up and record it. And I got to go try to catch a little bit of sleep before I have to go to work. And understand, folks, when I say I'm going to be watching this offline and then I turn right around and say I'm about to get some sleep, you have no idea the contraptions I have set up beside my bed to wake me when something changes with the weather in East Alabama and West Georgia. I've got bells and whistles and strobe lights and telephones that go off, and you just wouldn't believe it. So I get rocked out of the bed, too, when something is issued for East Alabama and West Georgia. If that were to happen, I do not anticipate it. I'll be right back with you, and we'll continue with our coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank goodness this did not turn into a major severe weather outbreak. I did not anticipate that it would, but you never know, so you have to carry on with your coverage just in case, and looks like we're going to come through this one just fine. Another chance coming up on Sunday night into Monday, and it's going to be another nighttime event, and we may actually have, on the backside of this one, across North Alabama and North Georgia, we may have some snow to deal with on Monday morning. Big drop in temperature. I think this will be winter's last hurrah. Oh, and by the way, speaking of winter, today is the 12th of March. It is the anniversary of the great 1993 blizzard across East Alabama and West Georgia. It was on this date back in 1993 when we all went to bed. James Spann was telling us we were going to have up to 16 inches of snow, and it was 56 degrees that night when I went to bed. I was sick with the flu, worked for WELR in Roanoke, Alabama at that time, had just moved to Roanoke. And at about 2 o'clock, went to bed about 10 o'clock that night. It was 56 degrees outside. Everybody's forecasting all this snow. At about 2 a.m. that morning, my phone rings. I answered it, and it's Mr. Weiss that on Eagle 102 at that time. And he said, Don, have you looked outside lately? And I remember we have high windows in that house. I stood up in the bed, pulled the curtains back, and it was a winter wonderland outside. I'm going, oh, my gosh. So I jumped in the truck, went to the radio station there in Roanoke. That was when it was out there at the end of 22 in North Main, in that little bitty building that's still sitting there right across from the Learning Center. And I was there for 3 days covering weather. we had just gotten a weather radar. Most radio stations didn't have that technology back then, but we had one, and covered that blizzard of 93. Was on the air for 3 days. So Ron Dewberry was with Alabama Power, and he spent a good bit of time out there giving everybody updates on when the power would be back on. It was crazy. That was the craziest weather event I think I have ever lived through, and hopefully we'll never have to go through something like that again either. It was crazy. But that was on this date back in 1993. All right, folks, I love doing this. Could stay with you all night, but I just can't do it. Got to go get a couple hours of shut-eye before I have to go in and do the daytime job. So thank you for joining us. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll see you back in here Friday morning. We'll update you on that possibility of severe weather again Sunday night into Monday. This is what we do. It's that time of year, and we'll let you know what we think is going to happen first thing Friday morning right here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thanks for joining us.